All right, so there's a lot of rumors going around about the Nintendo Switch maybe having a revision of some sorts. A lot of people are saying 4K. Probably won't be 4K. A lot of people are saying that it might just be a completely new system. It probably won't even be in the Switch family, but that doesn't matter. And that's the scary part. The scary part is we don't know what Nintendo's gonna do. And if they do decide to go the route of doing a new system entirely that's not a part of the Switch family, then we could actually see Nintendo stray away from backwards compatibility. Now, what would make them do that? Well, a couple things could make them do that. Going back to the Wii lifespan, all right? You had the Wii. It was disc based. Then you go on to the Wii U. It was compatible, correct? So you was able to play your Wii games on the Wii U, which was fine. For the DS, you was able to play your DS games on the 3DS, which was fine. But you wasn't able to play your Game Boy games on the 3DS. That's another thing. Also, when it was time to move from the Wii U into the Switch, they left disc games alone and they went to cartridge. Now, my theory, my this is totally my opinion. I don't think Nintendo is gonna go the route of making the Switch or the Switch Pro or whatever they decide to call it backwards compatible. Just for the simple reason that if they was able to resell us Wii U games and they donned it as remasters or re-releases, whatever the case is, for a full price, then they could easily do that with Switch games. Look at good example, Bayonetta 3. Awesome game, good game. But that game could have benefited from, better chips, like a better chipset just to make the game run better, to make it look better. And I could definitely see them doing a re-release of that game on a future Switch. Maybe I forgot the name of that Zelda Dynasty Warriors game, but the game ran like crap. I could see them redoing that. Maybe they could do a dual release of the new Zelda game like how they did with the Switch. How Zelda Breath of the Wild was out on the Wii U and the Switch. They might be able to do that for the new system. It might come out on the Switch, but then they might also make a version for the new version of the Switch or the Switch Pro that has better graphics, better frames per second, just making it and better all around. So that way it's kind of like, all right, well, this is the version you want to buy. Metroid, that could also be an option. I mean, I don't think Metroid is going to come out this year, but if the Switch comes out, if Metroid does come out, then I could definitely see Metroid benefiting from the revision or the re-release. There's a lot of games that could actually benefit from this, and Nintendo knows that, and Nintendo knows their fans, and they know the business. They know that if they was to put out a new system, and they marketed it as such as being a superior version of the Switch that has all these added benefits, because the Switch OLED didn't have any added benefits outside of an OLED screen. It was still the same hardware. So I don't think nobody really went out. If you already had a Switch, you really probably didn't go out for it. But if this is a good enough improvement to actually make someone go and buy a Switch, and then when you find out your games, your physical library is not compatible, and you have to rebuy everything, or just buy, a new version of the game that you already have, people are gonna do it. People rebrought the Mario Brothers U game, Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong Freeze, whatever it's called. That was a Wii U game that is on the Switch. That was full price. People are gonna buy it. People will buy it. And I think that's the point that a lot of people don't understand is that Nintendo, they're not afraid to make games not backwards compatible. Look at Labos. the Switch Labos only works on the original Switch. It doesn't work on the Switch Lite. The dimensions for the OLED Switch is off. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but you can't play that game on any revision of the Switch. There's games that like the what's that game? You can't play some of those mini games from Switch Sports on Switch Lite. You can't play. There's a whole bunch of games you can't play on the Switch Lite, like those tabletop games or the Mario Party games that have you take apart the controller. There's some games that might be locked out of that you might not be able to play. So it's kind of hard to sit there and believe that Nintendo would do this, especially since we re-brought all the same games from the Wii U. Most of the games that came over from to the Switch are just Wii U ports with a nice coat of paint on it. And the funny thing is, they always sold better. So it just proves that it wasn't the game that was the problem. It proves that it was the system. So what makes you think that most of these games won't sell? I wouldn't put it past Nintendo. I really don't. And that's the talking point. It's just, are you really going to give up backwards compatibility on the Switch? Would you even be mad? Me personally, I have a Switch. If a new version of the Switch came out, or it was called something else and it could do 4K 30 or whatever the case is, I'll be fine with that. Okay, if I really wanted to play a Switch game, I'll just boot up my Switch, play Bayonetta, play Zelda, whatever the case is. I just want new experiences. I don't want the same rehashed games. I don't want the remakes and the re-releases or the Switch Pro version, and nah. Okay. And another one, back on the 3DS, when the new 3DS came out, they had new 3DS exclusive games that only work on a new 3DS. So Nintendo is not afraid to do these moves. They're not afraid, and they know that they could do it because there's gonna be people that's gonna buy it if they market it right. If it's a good game, if it's an F-Zero, if it's a Metroid, if it's a Zelda, if it's a Mario, they would do it. And they're gonna, and if they want to put a re-release from the Switch lifestyle or lifespan, sorry, they would do it. They'll do it easy. And we got to come to the facts with that. All right. If you guys like the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Let's discuss this in the comment section, because I feel like this is not something that is being spoken about. And a lot of behind the scenes stuff with, the future of the Switch. They're looking into different chips from NVIDIA. They're working on stuff. And it might be this year or maybe next year that we see something or hear something. And that could really determine if you're going to keep buying Switch games anticipating backwards compatibility, or if you're just going to slow down on the physical library right now. We'll see. I'm out. Stay safe.